What is going on, everybody? It's the Frauds, and we're here from AEW on TNT review for last night's episode of AEW on TNT. This show opened up with Cody in his command center, sitting in front of his computers, just talking about the Motorhawk, the Spanish God, the legend and his brother, Darby Allin, the Enigma, I think is what he called him, Sabian, I don't remember what he called him there, and just talking how these guys and himself, to be the first, this is going to mean a lot. He does play a sound clip of Arn Anderson when he's talking about that. He's like, who am I? Plays the clip of Arn Anderson saying, out of all these guys, pretty much, Cody Rhodes needs this win more than anybody. Go down in history as the first ever TNT champion. Cody needs it more. So, nice little opening promo. Cody, again, just showing you a hell of a promo that I can do no justice for. This guy is just great on the mic and shows you every week when he's out there cutting a promo that he is the ultimate babyface and he's going to go out there and kill it each and every time. As usual, Jericho and Shivani on commentary as we go through this entire pandemic bullshit. Omega would be in action. We hear from Matt Hardy tonight. We hear from Scorpio Sky as they chronologize his career in wrestling. Jimmy Havoc versus Orange Cassidy. We hear from MJF on what his injury is, why he hasn't been in AEW, which is absolutely hilarious. We'll talk about it later. And Brody Lee is in action. Plus, the TNT title tournament quarterfinals comes to an end this week, as Dustin Rhodes puts his career on the line to take on Sabian and Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin, which is your opening contest. Packed episode of AEW. Cannot wait to see, can't wait to go over this, and we will. Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin, TNT title tournament. Guevara is in the ring, waiting for his opponent, and Darby Allin comes out. All of a sudden, you see Sammy Guevara do a tope con hilo to the outside, taking out Darby Allin. He is on the attack. Jericho is loving this, that his boy is out there doing everything he says he taught him. He then sends him into the apron, into the barricade on the babyface side, to the barricade on the heel side. Gets a small ladder. Not a big one, but a small one. Puts it in, he pulls the barricade forward, and Jericho's like, people ask, why do we have barricades during these no people shows? Both to do stuff like to maim your opponent like this. Remember, the match has not happened yet, has not started, no ring, bell, no nothing. So Sammy Guevara is free to beat the brakes. He could have beat Darby Allin to a point where Darby Allin couldn't continue, put him in the ring, make the referee Aubrey Edwards ring the bell, and score a quick easy pinfall. Of course that didn't happen, but he puts him on he pulls the barricade forward because the ladder was really small. Maybe Darby Allin could fit it, and that was about it. But he bridges it between the barricade and the ring. Puts Darby Allin on it. Goes up top. It's a massive splash. The ladder does not give. And both men are down as we go to commercial break. Both men are down, we come back. Sammy tosses Allin back in the ring. Aubrey Edwards, he says, ring the bell. She rings the bell without even checking on him. Sammy goes to the pin, gets a 2 count. Sammy sends him down, grabs Allen's arm, and he stomps away, as Daniel Bryan did with AJ Styles when he turned heel. Grabbed both arms and just started stomping at this guy. Sammy is punishing Allin, has him up on the top rope. Allin stops the superplex. Now Allin is whipping away at the boots. He has him just laying back as his legs got caught. So he takes the boot, takes the sock off of Sammy Guevara, and he is just twisting this guy's ankle heavily to cause him as much pain as he can until the ref finally gets him to break. Top block by Allin, who works on the ankle of Sammy with many more headbutts. Allin catches a kick but eats the other foot. Sammy with a springboard cutter on it for a 2 count. Allin goes for an ankle lock and Sammy in the middle of the ring. Sammy tries to get to the ropes, but Allin says, nah, motherfucker, this is not happening this way, and pulls him back, puts him back into this ankle lock. Both men on the mat are trading shots, and Jericho is loving this. He's like, I love it when two guys just go out there and beat the shit out of each other, beat the crap out of each other. Trading shots, spinning back fist, lays out Allin. Allin tries to charge Sammy, but Sammy kicks him in for a 2 count. Allin falls to the outside, and we go to break. Back for break, Sammy is outside. Darby is in the ring and does a diving missile from the inside to the outside, but Sammy Guevara moves. Darby Allin hits the guardrail, and it backs it away. Now, mind you, a couple months ago, La Parca in Mexico, who passed away a month or so ago, did something like this in this move. They called it a Lope Suicida, because it was not a high one, it was a low one in between the second and bottom rope. And La Parca took the same exact dive and hit his head right on that barricade and ended up dying from those. So luckily, Darby Allin wasn't going up against, if this was a WWE type guardrail where it was just that heavy guardrail that they use, Darby would hit like that and just broke his neck. So luckily, AEW uses this metal guardrail that they use. Sammy just picking him up with the head vice and just the neck vice, and just, it's like Darby Allin is absolutely dead weight. He is dead all the way. Puts Allin in the ring. 630 by Sammy Guevara, which looks really awkward because he's only using one foot because the other foot is damaged and it has no boot on it. Gets a 2 count. Darby grabs the rope, but Sammy is frustrated. Allin holding onto the ropes with dear life as Sammy's trying to pull him off. Stun Dog Millionaire by Allin goes for a coffin drop. Caught into a torture rack. Knee strike blocked. Allin wraps Sammy up and puts him into the Last Supper for the 1, 2, 3, and Darby Allin is your winner, moving on to face Cody next week. Heck of a match here. Sammy dominated the majority of this match after taking a early advantage before the match even started, beating up on Darby Allin, putting him on that ladder, beating him down with that ladder, and splashing with that ladder. But in the end, Darby outsmarts Sammy Guevara, gets him in the Last Supper. Jericho is shocked. So is Sammy Guevara, who he expected to win this match. He expected to win it all and move on to take on Cody, which I thought they were going to go with because they still want to try and build to the Inner Circle versus the Elite in that blood and guts match, whenever that's going to be. So I figured we would see maybe a little bit of it in the next round. But no, they went with Sammy Guevara versus Cody in the second round. I'm sorry, not Sammy, but Darby Allin. Do I see Darby Allin beating Cody in that match? I don't know. That's going to be a tough one because I feel like Lance Archer is going to win the match, whether it's Kip Sabian or Dustin Rhodes. No way fans are butts about it. I think it's going to be Lance Archer all the way. Now, we hear from Matt Hardy. He's thankful for us joining him. He reminds us of the challenge he had laid out to Chris Jericho, and that Jericho last week didn't say a word about it. Didn't get a response, but he saw the bubbly bunch, called it a melting pot mukas, or whatever the hell he called it. He said, I'd rather call it, or I should say, a melting pot of mukas, I think is what he said. But that's beside the point. I could see that the only one of your underlings who had the cojones to say my name was your false god, Sammy Guevara. He now changes young Samuel to come fight Jericho's battle, and now it makes sense. The reason Jericho didn't say a word is because he can't handle the broken brilliance. But maybe, just maybe, you should talk to the mortal Matt Hardy, the one that you know well. So we phase into not the broken Matt Hardy, but mortal, normal Matt Hardy. And we hear from Matt Hardy. Says he gets to why Jericho is so mad when he showed up a few weeks ago on TV, which was the first week of this whole pandemic stuff. He showed up a few weeks ago because the Elite are the pillars of the AEW, and if you knock them all down, that creates chaos. And Jericho wants chaos in AEW, but Matt Hardy cannot let that happen. AEW is a platform not just for you and me, but for a platform for the future, and I will protect that from you. If you want to send Sammy, that's fine, because I will kick his ass, and I will kick everyone's ass in the inner circle until I get to you, and then I will kick your ass. This was a hell of a promo by Matt Hardy for both versions of him, Broken Matt Hardy, Broken Matt Hardy. Here's what I think they should do with this. With the fact that they do, like, Matt Hardy did say that this version of Broken Matt Hardy is Damascus, who is not like his original Broken Matt Hardy, where it was just Broken Matt Hardy and that's it. We can see broken and non-broken Matt Hardy in this gimmick, in this version of him. So, Broken Matt Hardy should be saved for the big matches. Broken Matt Hardy should be saved for, like, Blood and Guts, or a pay-per-view match, or here and there with a big main event. If Matt Hardy is going up against some Job Squad guy, or is going up against somebody on Dark, it shouldn't be Broken Matt Hardy every time. Matt Hardy should also make an appearance. It's what I think they could do, is like, if they want him to be cutting promos as broken and non-broken Matt Hardy, I think we can go with having Matt Hardy wrestling as Matt Hardy and performing as Matt Hardy, so we can save the broken gimmick for special occasions, and I think that would just be awesome. Jericho is none too pleased. He says Matt Hardy better shut his fat mouth, or me and the inner circle will go to his compound, his dinky compound, and shut it for him. There you go. Kenny Omega in action next, and we get another sports analysis type video package by Taz going over this big moves of Kenny Omega. Do we need this in AEW? The answer is no. I know they want to go with the big sports feel, and they want to feel like a real sport and everything, but this is going overboard. By a mile, this is going way overboard. We don't need this. We never needed this. And that's how I feel about that. Allin Angels versus Kenny Omega. Now you're going into this match, you're thinking, Kenny Omega is going to go out there, kill this guy, and get an easy win. No. Allin Angels got a lot more offense in this than I thought he would. Kenny Omega made this guy look good. Like, this guy had a legitimate chance to possibly, on his worst day, beat on his best day, and on Kenny's worst day, beat Kenny Omega. Unfortunately, this was not his best day, and this was not Kenny Omega's worst day. Early on, Kenny Omega tries for a Snapdragon, but Angels gets out of that. There was a funny part towards the end of this match, though, where Jericho's making fun of Angels' gear and says that's not Angels on his, like, he had like these tights on with a banner coming off of him, and he said that's Angles, that's not Angels. What is up with that? But Angels bites his fingers and drops him on knee, bounces off the ropes, step up senton, goes for the senton again, but Omega gets knees up, Omega backbreaker for a 2 count. Omega with more chops on Angels. Now Omega is beating this guy in the corner. Angels gets a reverse and shoulder block on Omega in the corner. He goes for a move in the ropes, and Omega drops him easily. Angles with a jaw jack, and on the ropes, the ring skirt is pulled up during him trying to get out earlier in the match, a little bit earlier in the match, and he ends up using that to trip and slip Kenny Omega up. Angels up top misses a double stop. Omega misses a V-trigger. Angles with a combo move, but Omega hits a Snapdragon. He has had enough. Picks him up, hits a V-trigger, 2 count. Picks him up, hits a nasty powerbomb, flips him over, hits a V-trigger. 1, 2, 3. Allin Angels goes down with a V-trigger. Angels look good. Kenny Omega made this guy look like he's actually somebody that, if he's in AEW past this and he actually signs with AEW, he could be somebody later on. Get a look at Scorpio Sky, what he's been up to, what he's been feeling and everything. Talks about his love for professional wrestling and how he's had a desire for this since he's been a child. Talk about how some people want to be police officers. They want to be all these big careers and everything, but not me. I wanted to be a pro wrestler since day one. Since day one. And he talked about his back injury he had about 13 years ago. Well, about 12, 13 years ago. How he almost lost his career due to his injury. It hasn't had a problem, and like, he went to a back specialist, and they said we had two options: surgery or pain management. And either way, you're probably not going to be able to wrestle again. He said you can say I'm a miracle. There's a miracle worker out there or something, but I just woke up one day, didn't have as much pain in my back, and haven't had much problem with it since. He had struggle making it into business. If you listen to his talk with, who was it, Chris Van Vliet or somebody, you could get all this cliff notes and everything. He struggled making it in the business, didn't know what was next. Then I think he took a break from the business, and he was not going anywhere. So he wanted to give wrestling one more go. Why not? Why not just take that chance one more time? And he felt like he was two out, like bases loaded, 2 out, with 1 strike left to go, and he stepped up to the plate and hit a grand slam. He mentions the formation at SCU about 3 years ago, and then they say to be continued as we see SCU running out to the ring for an event. BTE, as we move on here. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. So great promo, great thing. If you didn't know who Scorpio Sky was, nice little backstory on Scorpio Sky. It's a way to get people who are casuals to know who this guy is, and maybe they want to stick around for when he makes his return to AEW, because he has been gone since this entire thing started. We did have SCU with Christopher Daniels and Kazarian on AEW for the first week or two when all this stuff happened and we had empty arenas. Now they're not there. Sky hasn't been there. Let's see what happens. Then we get the video of Dustin Rhodes from the Road to this past week, with Dustin telling Cody, if I don't beat that son of a bitch in Kip Sabian, I'm going to retire. Then, for the first time since this entire company started, we get an advertisement for BTE 200, which was Matt versus Nick, Falls Count Anywhere, Anything Goes match at the BTE compound. Now, people are speculating, is this going to be the last BTE? I don't know. We'll find out on Monday, I guess. If there's a BTE 201, then there's a BTE 201. They kind of teased it that there's going to be a BTE continuation, with them saying they still have something to do. We'll have to wait and see. Jimmy Havoc versus Orange Cassidy. I wonder what happened to Luther and Jimmy Havoc on Dark. I guess the pandemic stuff has kind of pulled that back, and when all this is over and we have this all going again, maybe Luther, who's probably in quarantine because he is getting there in age, he's like 50 some years old, and they want that match, whether it's on Dark at a pay-per-view, to be something that a crowd is in. Havoc on the attack from the start. Elbow to the back of Cassidy's head, and Havoc takes the jacket and Havoc and uses it. He then tosses it before he just drops it on the ground and starts stomping on it like this is just garbage. Let me just stomp on this thing. Havoc is then in, takes the shirt off, and he just pulls Cassidy's shirt up and just starts smacking the guy. Then he uses it, pulls it back on him, and is just beating the brakes off this guy. The only problem with this match is that Orange Cassidy he's a hell of a worker. He can work real well, but we've seen his match with Pac, and the way that they had it with Pac, and the way that they the comebacks that he had and everything in that match, and how great that match was. This felt like more of the same after Jimmy Havoc destroyed him for a bit. There was a funny part in the destroying part where Jimmy Havoc took him to each ring post and started chopping at him. He got to the third one. He goes to chop it. Orange Cassidy ducks. Jimmy Havoc stopped and then slaps him on the back. Then picks him up and pokes him in the eye. I thought that was kind of funny. But Jimmy Havoc had the same, Orange Cassidy got the same hits in. It felt like more of the same. Havoc was biting on his fingers. And then when it came down to it, Pathology Ford comes up as Cassidy is looking to put away Jimmy Havoc. Chuck Taylor and Trent and Chuck Taylor come over and it's like, what are you doing? And Chuck Taylor tries to yank Ford off, but she does a split. She's laughing. Sabian comes out of nowhere, does a tope over the top to the outside, taking both men out. Ford Ford gets on the top turnbuckle. Referee is seeing this, by the way. She goes for a dive, misses Orange Cassidy. I thought she was going to run into Jimmy Havoc, but she doesn't. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She gets out of the ring. He turns around, gets tied up. 1, 2, 3. Orange Cassidy is your winner of this match, getting his first win in AEW. Right after the match, he doesn't have a chance to celebrate. Havoc and Sabian attack him. Best friends come in and chase them off, and that is that. We would hear from them later, where they're in the back of the locker room with an interviewer that I don't remember ever seeing in AEW, but she asked them what's going on. They want a match with Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc as soon as possible. We'll talk about that later. We hear from MJF. MJF says in this promo, it's from in front of his house apparently. We see him from pretty much the shoulders up. He says, this world, this very existence is in a worldwide pandemonium because MJF hasn't been on AEW TV in weeks. And why is that? So MJF is making it all about him. Absolutely awesome. And he says, well, on that first episode that I was gambling with Sean Spears, I suffered a hangnail, a debilitating hangnail. And it gotten worse. And I'm going to need surgery. Possibly. But like the Phoenix, I will rise up from the ashes and be better for it. And you MJFers, Maxwell Jacob Friedman fans, apparently he has fans now, will appreciate me more for it. Now, he says, I'll get better at this, and then I'm better than you, and I know it, you know it, and I missed MJF. This was fantastic. I just butchered it completely, but I found it funny. We have this whole pandemic fear-mongering bullshit, and MJF knows to make it about himself. Why are we having this pandemonium? Because MJF hasn't been on our TV sets since who knows when. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was awesome. MJF is just so good. Has been missed so much. So great promo by MJF. Onto his bodyguard, onto his muscle, Wardlow. He took on Lee Johnson. To say this was much of a match and more of a massacre than that, like this was Wardlow going out there, beating the brains out of this guy, hitting an F10, 1, 2, 3. Wardlow wins. We see someone listening to a voicemail. I believe it was what was his name? All I know is he was apparently a tight end in football. He failed that. So he goes on to join.gordo.com after his girlfriend broke up with him, who was with another man apparently. And he talks to Brody Lee. More Vince McMahon crap with this shit. I mean, it's like every day you have this guy in promos coming out doing Vince McMahon rhetoric every single week. It just hurts the character. Plain and simple. Brody Lee in the ring, I have no problem with. He can go out there and dominate all he wants. Even though, is it really smart to have three guys, Brody Lee's size, and Wardlow, Brody Lee, and Lance Archer all at the same time working as big, huge monsters who are going to destroy these jobbers? I don't think so, but that's on me. But gives the guy a mask and says you're home and we'll see, and you're now part of the Dark Order. What's that going to do for this guy? Is he going to ascend to the top? We don't know. We saw nobody come out for Brody Lee versus Justin Law. Another one. This was another brutalizer match for Brody Lee against Justin Law. Discus Lariat, 1, 2, 3. That is that. But after, he hits the Discus Lariat and they go to Pineapple Pete, which that's what Jericho calls him. And Marco just has this shocked look on his face, like, holy shit, he just killed that guy. After the match, he's walking down the steps. He walks over to Marco Stunt and looks at him. Marco says some stuff. You can't hear him what he says. Brody Lee walks away, and it has been announced that next week on TV, on TNT, it'll be Brody Lee versus Marco Stunt. If anybody is going to make Brody Lee look like I don't know. I still just cannot with the Marco Stunt. I mean, he's a great guy. I have no problems with the guy. It's Brody Lee, as well as Lance Archer, who did before, versus a guy who looks like a child. I mean, yes, he's a great bumper. He can bump his ass off, making these guys look devastating, but they should. Hell, anybody like 6'7", 6'2" or higher should be able to beat the brakes off of Marco Stunt. I have no problems against the guy. It's just I don't know. Just should be the more of the same for him. What you saw with Lance Archer is what you're gonna see with Brody Lee, and it's gonna give the AEW haters a reason to throw shade at AEW because they're having a small child getting beat up by guys 3 times his size. Both semifinal matches will be next week. We hear from Jon Moxley, Brody Lee versus Marco Stunt. Backstage promo from Dustin Rhodes and Kip. A promo package for Dustin Rhodes versus Kip Sabian. Both men just talking about how important this main event match is going to be the first ever TNT to go advance in the TNT tournament. This is what these guys have been here for. This is what these guys are here for. And heck of a package. Dustin's been doing this for 30 plus years. Kip Sabian is not in the prime of his career yet, as he says. He says, you are, I'm not, and that's what gives me the advantage in this match. And Dustin did mention that Brandi Rhodes would be in his corner in this match. Now, Dustin Rhodes versus Kip Sabian. For some reason, I put Dustin Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes in my notes. That's on me. Pretty good match here. Penelope Ford, of course, doing her thing, trying to get distract Dustin Rhodes, or get Kip Sabian up her advantage. In the end, Brandi Rhodes hits a massive spear, which I will say, Brandi Rhodes' spear has gotten a little bit better as we've gone on. I remember when she hit a spear, I believe, on Allin back at, Fight for the Fallen. That looked terrible. This one that she did, the one she did against Leva Bates a couple weeks ago, or about a month or so ago, and this one last night looked way better than it did 9 months ago. Now, that sends Brandi and Chris Sabian and Penelope Ford to the outside. In the time that he does this, Kip Sabian is distracted. Dustin Rhodes bounces off the ropes, hits him with a Canadian Destroyer. 1, 2, 3. When was the last time the Canadian Destroyer was the finish to a match outside of a Petey Williams match? I couldn't tell you. You have it overused in Raw. You have it overused on Raw, overused in NXT, overused in AEW. And here you go, having Kip Sabian getting pinned by Dustin Rhodes. Good shit. Really good show, but it was mentioned by Tony Schiavone that Tony Khan in his ear said next week it will be Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc versus the Best Friends in a no DQ, no count out, no anything goes match, apparently. We'll have to see where that goes, but this was a really good show. Really good show. AEW, as we know, neither one of these companies or anyone doing any empty arena shows is firing on all cylinders. But the simple fact is, you can't be. There is no way, no how, no sir, that you're going to be firing on all cylinders when there's no crowd. It's just not going to happen. So AEW is doing the best they can. WWE doing the almost best they can. And I don't know about Impact because Impact is just Impact and they've died 1,000 deaths before and I just don't watch them anymore. hopefully we'll see this pandemic stuff get out of the way and we can actually get crowds back here, because as soon as we get crowds back, with AEW doing as best as they can, it won't take them long to get the fire rekindled and them having that hot crowd that they've had before. But that is your AEW on TNT review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on TV, on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And I will see you guys, and Instagram as well as The France Club. And I'll see you guys Saturday for the SmackDown review. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.